Hey guys, Olga Gaming here, back again with another MTG Arena video, and tonight we're going to be upgrading our budget Mono Black deck. So I do want to address something really quick. Obviously, this would be the normal slot for the week, at least this time during our social distancing. And the current health crisis that we are experiencing in the world, I would have posted a Friday Night Magic video. However, I did not participate in Friday Night Magic this week for a certain little reason, a certain little fantastic role-playing game called Final Fantasy VII Remake released this week, so I opted to spend about 8 hours on Friday night into the wee hours of Saturday morning in Midgar, and elected not to play Magic that night. So I do apologize if you were hoping for a Friday Night Magic video. Final Fantasy VII kind of took over my world for that night, and still has, so I'm actually restraining myself from playing more Final Fantasy VII now with my game time to record videos for you fine folks. So, alright, so if you paid attention last week, we released a video on Friday of a budget Mono Black Lifegain deck. So the deck consisted completely of commons and uncommons, and if I do my job in post, and sometimes I do this, I'll post a link in one of these corners here to the previous video. So now that you've played the deck, now you've got the opportunity of the commons and uncommons are really easy. Now you want to spend some wild cards on this to actually make it a more competitive deck, something a little bit more fun, something a little bit more capable of winning. That's what we're going to go through here. So we're going to take that deck that we started off with in the common and uncommon slots. We're going to add some rares and try to make it more competitive. So to refresh your memory, this is what the deck consisted of. I've obviously not removed any cards just yet because I want to show the trades and why I make the trades. So it started off with Cauldron Familiar, 4 of these, 4 Falmer Knights. The original deck had 4 Vampires of the Dire Moon, 4 Witches' Ovens, 3 Orders of Midnight, 2 Tymarets, 4 Bloodthirsty Aerialists, 4 Murders, 3 Underworld Dreams, 3 Dragged to the Underworld, and 4 Garys, and 21 Swamps. So let's talk about some rares that we're going to add. So the first one, obviously, I highlighted over, of course, is going to be Knight of the Ebon Legion. This is by far is one of the best 1-drops in the game. It also matches in with the theme for the deck for having a Death Touch creature in there. So where do we make the cuts? Well, unfortunately, I think one of the places we're going to make cuts are going to be the Order of Midnight. We're going to go ahead and add 4 of those and drop those Orders of Midnight out of the deck. Other additions, Ayara. So when you have the combination with the when you have the Cauldron Familiar / Witches' Ovens combo kind of going, Ayara is just that extra little salt in the wound to add into it. So whenever a creature loses, enters the battlefield, you're gaining life, more life. So basically, it doubles up the effects of the Cauldron Familiars. Definitely a must for the deck. So where do we make our cuts? So there's a couple of things I'm concerned with. The first and foremost, I think we're probably going to drop down to 2 Underworld Dreams as opposed to 3. We'll get to what else we're going to add in here. So we'll try to make our cuts. The other ones are the Castle Locthwains. One of the things this deck does struggle with is card draw. It doesn't have a ton in there, especially since we just removed the Order of Midnight, so we don't really have a lot of card draw, so Castle Locthwain will be able to help us out there. So those are really easy to strip out. You just strip out 1, 2, 3, 4 swamps, and now you're back up to your 21 lands. You still have 4 extra cards, so where do you go? Drag to the Underworld I want to hang on to. Murders I probably want to hang on to. Bloodthirsty Aerialist is kind of the thing. So unfortunately, we are really heavily loaded on the we are heavily loaded on the 1-drops. And Falmer Knight, well, cool having a Death Toucher. We did kind of replace it with the Knight of the Ebon Legion, so I think this is going to be where we make our drop. We're going to go ahead and drop 4 of those to get us back down to a 60-card deck. So 21 lands, 4 Castle Locthwains, 4 Garys still in the deck, 3 Dragged to the Underworld still in the deck, 2 Underworld Dreams. It's cool, but it's not going for the complete theme of what we're shooting for. 4 Murders. You could, now this is something else you might want to consider, so we should probably do this here. So that basically added 12 rares to the deck. If you wanted to go 16 rares, you could replace Murder with Murderous Rider. It does the same thing that Murder does in destroying a creature, but it also gives the option for destroying a planeswalker as well. So I think we're going to go ahead and do that one well. So we have taken 16 cards out. We have added 16 cards into those 16 cards that we've added have all been rares. You do not need to do all of these. If it were me for the start, I think Ayara is probably the first place I would go for the first rares that you could start adding. Followed directly behind with Knight of the Ebon Legion. And then from there, kind of sprinkle which way you want to go. The Castle Locthwains are nice. You don't necessarily need them, but they are nice. And you don't need 4 of them. In fact, here for this one, we'll just go down to 3. just for the purposes of showing off the deck and what it can do. You don't need 4. You can probably go 3 or even 2 if you really wanted to. And then, of course, we just added Murderous Rider as a nice to have, because it does give you answers for Planeswalkers as well. So that is how we're going to upgrade the deck. Let's go play some games with it and see how well it does. So I hope everyone is surviving. I'm going to move into the play one because I've actually managed to get myself into platinum rank at this juncture, just playing through, catching up on all the Magic I didn't play at the weekend. So I've managed to get myself in platinum rank. I don't want to risk losing much further. Although platinum rank 4, we can't go much further down. We'll stick with standard rank. We'll do it that way then. So we'll go with the upgraded budget deck. So I do again hope everyone is surviving, doing well, washing your hands, social distancing correctly during our current health crisis. If you happen to like the video and like what I do, like, subscribe. It always helps out the channel. I do have a lifetime goal of 1,000 subscribers, which I'm getting super... What is this? What is this? Yeah, Mulligan. Thanks, Shuffler. Appreciate that. But we do have a lifetime goal of 1,000 subscribers. We're getting super close, and once I get there, everything else will be gravy. I'll be super happy. We are going to have to pitch Gary. That's ridiculous. So, good safety tip. I always go Witch's Oven first. In the event that they have a removal, like a shock, turn 1 shock, they can kill your familiar, Cauldron Familiar, and then you don't get it back. It doesn't look like we're going to have that problem here. Ooh, in fact, we'll go ahead and get 2 Cauldron Familiars, which is going to be really nice when Ayara comes out next turn. So this deck also looks like it's Rakdos Sacrifice, so I always assume that, yeah, but of course you get the Priest of the Forgotten Gods, and that basically guarantees that. So we're going to go ahead and drop that and just start gaining some life. Again, I'm going to hold on to the Cauldron Familiar until it's my turn officially, so that I can actually drop Ayara, get her added benefits, drop the cat, get the added benefits there. And already we're well off and running. We don't need to attack. That's the upside of this deck, is we don't necessarily need to attack. I do have a distinct feeling, however, we are going to get the Mayhem Devil, which is exactly what I was concerned with, is going to be coming next. Is that whenever any player sacrifices? Sure. He's going to get a chance to choose. Yeah, I think he's going to end up killing one of my cats, and I'm thinking about it. This is probably the bad choice, because he's going to go ahead and kill a cat. Yeah, so we are going to have to deal with it. That is going to be a problem. So let's deal with that first. And then go with this. And I am going to assume that he is not going to block with the Priest of the Forgotten Gods because he needs a sack outlet. So yeah, it stinks that we had to learn the lesson the hard way by losing Cauldron Familiar, but we are well on our way to 27-9. Unless he's got another Mayhem Devil, this could be a good start. Again, I don't genuinely care that he has a death-touching creature. Gaining the life was kind of nice. Claim the Firstborn. Now, does he get it the whole time? No, he's just going to sacrifice it with Priest of the Forgotten Gods, so I'm not going to let him do that. Yeah, because his whole thing is he would have sacrificed this and Ayara to the Priest of the Forgotten Gods, so not going to let that happen. Sure. He's all tapped down. I think it's safe to go ahead and sacrifice and put the kitty cat down. And we'll get Bloodthirsty Aerialist into play, and this is where the fun begins. Sounds like my kids are having some crazy fun up there. So now the question becomes, is what does he have? Of course. I knew he was going to claim the Firstborn that. I knew that was going to happen. They always seem to have like 2 or 3 right in their pocket ready to go. So, where do we want to go from here? What am I afraid of most? Probably the Priest of the Forgotten Gods is really getting kind of super annoying. And we'll just hold for now. Anything that does damage to him, I'm okay with. Mayhem Devil. Of course. Of course he's got Mayhem Devil. Why wouldn't he have Mayhem Devil? So, we actually have the extra food token, so he can go ahead and kill one cat that I'm just going to get back later. Sure. And we'll take our turn. We're going to go... no. We're going to cast this first to kill the Mayhem Devil so that we're not taking damage for the sacrifices of the food tokens. Yeah, we've learned that lesson. Let him do his damage there. And now we'll do kitty cats. Yeah, cast that one too. This game would have been over if we had Ayara in play. And we can end our turn there. Yeah, Mayhem Devil makes this deck really difficult to deal with. Sure. I have no cards to discard. So, okay. Does he recognize that he's going to be like, he's basically killing himself on that part? Whoa, Strider. That's cool. Again, the more he sacrifices himself, though, he's going to be This is where, like, I love Midnight Reaper, but in the early, like in the mid game like this, late game like this, Midnight Reaper is going to be a detriment to his deck. This does not have lifelink, does it? No. So we're going to block here. We're going to sacrifice the kitty. So we actually don't take the 3 damage. He's got his own Cauldron Familiar. That's fine. And we'll take our turn. Oh, perfect. Perfect. And then we'll just wait. So basically... Yeah, I was going to say, basically this game is genuinely over. He doesn't have enough damage to attack with. Unless he gets a Mayhem Devil, we've got the win. So see, just adding a few expensive rare cards, and boom, that can win. That can happen. Looking forward to the new season starting, by the way. I'm in debate. Ikoria does not look like a set that's got its thought processes together. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not seeing it. Maybe, I don't know, there's just some weird stuff in this set. And I know there's a lot of debate on even rules mechanics, and I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to come out in Arena. Because obviously the developers of the game should already know how the mechanics work. And it seems like even Wizards is kind of like wishy-washy on how their mechanics work, which doesn't feel right to me. Specifically Mutate and how Mutate works. There's some weird categorical errors that may have been made on discussing, oh neat, we'll just take the win in the Platinum Leagues. Sure. I guess he's seen enough sacrifice decks today. But yeah, no, there's some weird rulings on specifically how things, like Mutate, for example. I think one of the rulings that's, I know the companion thing in Commander is like a huge, gigantic thing, but I don't play a ton of Commander. You don't have Commander on Arena, so I haven't been tracing that nearly as closely. But things like Mutate, for example, so like if I mutate a creature to upgrade a creature on the battlefield, and then I kill the creature on the battlefield, or my creature gets killed, what happens to the card that I mutated? These are good questions. Does it go to the graveyard? Because I spent mana on it. Is it like countering a spell and it just goes to the graveyard? Does it go anywhere? I mean, and it seems to me like they just genuinely don't seem to know how their own mechanics work, which is terrifying to me. Alrighty. Overall, good start. This could be a Gary for the win kind of game, just looking at the way this is going now. So what do we have? Mono red. Lovely. All the Cauldron Familiars in the world. No, I have no need to attack with this deck. So we're going to get like the Fervent Champion. We're going to get the probably Bone Crusher Giant, probably on the Knight of the Ebon Legion. I'm willing to sacrifice a cat because he really wants me to give up the Knight of the Ebon Legion. Yeah, he's going to do both anyway, so might as well. Oh, lovely. How nice it would have been to have a land there. Mono Red's not used to this. They're not used to being behind on the life total by turn 3. Sure. Sort of predictable. We'll drag that to the Underworld, if you please. I'll take the 2. Makes me even. Now, the problem with this deck is, yeah, that was the next word that was going to come out of my mouth. I do think that I need to go Witch's Oven here first to keep the life total up. Because I can sit here and block all day long. Where this deck survives is the blocking. Well, that and it's got Embercleave in it most likely. So I will choose a blocker. You're going to Embercleave. Sure. And we're going to go ahead and sacrifice a kitty. Sorry if you hear my dog barking. I think the kids are in the process of taking care of her right now. Yeah, that's going to suck, but not nearly as much as it could. I meant to only attack with 1 cat. So yeah, I'll be taking 6 here. Robber the Rich, that's fine. Fervent Champion, my goodness, he's got all the cards. He's got all the cards. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That is more than enough to kill me. So if I'm going to lose, I might as well take out Robber the Rich. That's going to be enough. Yeah, Mono Red will do that to you. Oh, jeez. Just for spite, no less. Yeah, I was going to say, he got enough through on the 1. He could have just did that once. Alright, it happens. If we'd have gotten an extra land drop there, that might have helped, but I don't know. Alright, we're going to get one more game out of this one. Again, I tend to try to run for 20 minutes. That first one took some time, though. The Rakdos deck was pretty good. Mono Red tends to go fast. Just saying. Win or lose, Mono Red tends to go fast. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the Shuffler's broken my butt. I got nothing on that. That's better. Oh, what do we want to keep? This is painful. I gotta let that go. Because Dragging the Underworld is going to become a 2-drop instant. There's no reason not to do that. Oh, goody. Mono Red again. How lovely. And let's see if we can follow the Mono Red script. That means that this is going to be Bone Crusher Giant. Bone Crusher Giant. Come on, you know you got it. See? It's like I've played this deck before. At least we got our land drop there, too. Then he's going to cast Bone Crusher Giant. Or he's going to Scorching Dragonfire. Interesting. I guess he didn't get the land drop. Now, that's actually a benefit to us. Because we're going to go Bloodthirsty Aerialist. We have no lifelink currently on the board, but that doesn't mean that's not coming. Now he's going to cast Scorch Spitter and something else? I'm really surprised. Oh, he must have a kill spell. Yeah, he's going to... Nice. Very nice. So... Let's Underworld Dreams him. Not once, but twice. This should be fun. It definitely helps for Drag to the Underworld, too, because whenever he eventually does cast... Perfect. He's holding on to that Bone Crusher Giant. Like, he must have... And we're going to end our turn right there. So he probably has, if I had to guess, he probably already has Embercleave in his hand, so he's going to swing right here for it. He's gonna wait. He's so dirty. He's gonna wait. Sure. So I'll block your 6 and then sacrifice it. We're going to cast that. And we are going to drag to the Underworld. Because that's just a ridiculous amount of damage. Ayara would make this awesome. Gary would be nice too at this point. So I assume he's got Embercleave. Robber the Rich. Interesting. All hasting creatures, so it makes sense. He must not be pulling that Embercleave. So we're going to block the 4 there. He's going to put the 4 on... Yep. So him having all of that first striking doesn't actually do us any good. It's okay. I think we lose anyway. Our 2 losses, of course, coming to Mono Red. Imagine that. Because that's 14 right there. Yeah, that's more than enough to get us down. Alright, that's disappointing, but in case you didn't know, Mono Red's a pretty good deck. That is going to be another one that's going to come up in our budget decks on how to build a budget version of that deck, and then moving it up to the version that we saw there. So, in any case, that's going to do it for this one. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, always helps out the channel. If you have a suggestion for a budget deck that you would like to see and then have it upgraded, let me know in the comments down below. I've already gotten a couple of cool responses, one of them being Black-White Lifegain, which I think is a really cool idea, and Blue-White Flyers, which is another really cool idea. So, let me know in the comments down below if there is a deck that you would like to see played. I'd love to play it. And I will give, of course, full credit to those authors who send me their deck lists. I'll make sure to give you absolute credit for that. So, in the meantime, guys, we shall see you in the arena. This video was brought to you in no small part by our patrons. If you would like to help out the channel, go to www.patreon.com/oldguygamingmtga. And thank you for your support.